Okay, guys, let's get started here. Thank you so much, guys, for taking some time out of your schedule. We do know how valuable your time is, so we always appreciate when you're able to kind of sacrifice some of it, if you will. Some of you consider sacrifice. I always look at it as an investment, but invest some of your time into what can be life changing for you. And we definitely believe that Alpha is that vehicle that can do those things for you. And I'm always excited about when we get to do these particular announcements because it actually addresses one of my favorite things, which is being able to travel the world, but also being able to travel the world with people as a consequence of them building their business. Because I know that even though you might be building for an incentive trip, at the same time that you're doing that, you're building your business and you're ultimately increasing your revenue both currently and into the future because of the residual passive nature of what it is here that we offer now. So hopefully that lead up was long enough. I see a bunch of people were just jumping on. I wanted to make sure you guys were present for the webinar. So let's get started and talk about what it is we're going to be doing. I know some of you have had a preview of this, but I remember when I first got started with Alpha, and I was talking to some distributors, and they said, well, hey, they were brand new to the company as well, and they said, well, hey, it looks like, I mean, the company's in China, so if we do things right, we'll be able to travel to China. And I remember telling them, hey, if you do things right, we'll be able to travel the world. And they got really, really excited about that. And that's actually come to fruition. You guys know we've actually taken some incredible trips here, but we're going to just keep this going now into perpetuity. And we're going to make sure that we're able to go to some of the most incredible destinations in the world with the leadership who actually deserves to be there, the people who are spending their time building their business. And that's what this incentive is going to be all about. And I'll tell you guys, this next trip is to Australia. And I don't know how many people have ever been to Australia before. If you have, yeah, I'm sure you had probably the time of your life. But I know here in North America, Australia is one of those destinations that is very much to some people like China, where it's one of those places that you think, man, it would be really, really cool to go there. But you don't really actually believe you'll ever actually get there just because it's far away. And you say, well, yeah, that's one of those trips I'll take eventually, and eventually becomes never. But this is once again Alpha stepping up and taking it to the next level. I knew we went to China recently. We went to the Great Wall and to Tiananmen Square, and we went to the Forbidden City. We did all this stuff and hung out in Shanghai. I know a lot of people said, man, they thought they would never be able to do stuff like this. This is going to be that kind of experience for a couple of reasons. One is, again, it's a dream destination, but here's the other thing, and I want you guys to think about this, is this is going to be our first trip ever for Alpha North America where it is combined with the Asian marketplace and what they're doing over there. So again, this is the trip that they had planned for the Asian distributors, and Alpha North America, for the very first time, we're going to go on a combined destination trip with them, which is going to add so much more value to your business as we get to actually spend a lot of time with the Asian leadership, seeing what's going on, kind of tapping into their momentum and using that in turn to continue to drive the momentum here and the momentum that we start to build throughout North America and eventually across the world as we expand to different international destinations, guys. So very excited about this, and if you actually treat this right, I'm going to show you. We're going to go through this presentation, and then we're going to have a training on this Thursday about how to really take advantage of it. But if you treat this right, this can be business changing for you in your Alpha career. So let's get into some of the things we want to talk about. First of all, I want to give you guys some of the reality here, what we're dealing with. When myself and the rest of Alpha corporate management got together in North America and talked about what we wanted to do to give people the best opportunity to qualify for this incentive, not only did we talk about the type of qualifications we were going to put together, the ones that made the most sense, the ones that will reward the people who were actually out there building. But we also talked about the fact that we wanted to do something we had never done before, which is give you a longer period of time to qualify. 9 months, in fact. This incentive is going to run from April 1st to December 31st. The reason why we wanted to do that is not only to ensure that you would have the opportunity to go on this trip. Anybody who wants to go to Australia is going to Australia. If you don't go, it's because you didn't want to go when you see the qualifications that we put together, but also to set it up in such a way that you could have people who are currently not even in the company, maybe people who are watching the recording of this webinar right now, who you weren't even in the company April 1st or May 1st or June 1st or July 1st or even August 1st, but still you've got an opportunity to go to Australia. And if we can use that as a way to drive as a goal, an activity, a destination for your business here for the rest of the year, for the next 9 months, then you could find yourself in a position not only being in Australia, but being in Australia with a lot of money in your pocket and a lot of money in your bank account because you really did this. Now, that's the great news. The great news is that we're giving you so much advance notice, we're giving you so much time. But of course, the other side of that, though, is that we have to adjust to the reality of taking such a large trip. Here's what I mean. One of the last trips that they did over in Asia was they went to Bali for the Asian distributors. They took almost 800 people with them on that Bali trip. Now, when you're moving those kind of people, in this case, let's say it was the same number of people, 800 or 900 people now from Asia, plus the North American distributors, we're talking about a massive amount of people. And there's some requirements that happen in terms of when they can book for the certain dates that they're going to be able to accommodate everybody. So that booking process probably won't even happen for a couple of months before they can actually narrow it down and find out when they can get all of these people into the same destination at the same time. Multiple hotels, multiple venues, obviously an incredible amount of flights kind of converging on each other, a lot of coordination. But we still wanted to tell you about it now because we want to allow you to start qualifying now to give you more time. So as we move closer and we start getting those dates, those travel dates, we expect to be the first quarter of next year of 2019. We'll definitely give you guys more and more detail, but we wanted to actually put you in a position to be in a spot where you could actually have the most amount of time to qualify and the most amount of time to get your people qualified as we move forward. So it's going to be what we know now. First quarter of next year, it's going to be a seven-day trip to the Australian marketplace. We're going to actually be again with the distributors, the leadership from the Asian marketplace. We're going to have some incredible tours in place, but we're also going to have a big, giant leadership recognition event where everybody's going to get dressed up in gowns and nice suits or tuxedos, and we're going to do it first class, a red carpet style event to really celebrate the success of the people from Asia as well as the people from North America that are out there building a business. So it's going to be an incredible experience for you, and you're going to want to be there. Now, let's get to the details of what it's going to take to actually get there. And the first thing I want to talk about are the two personal requirements that you're going to need if you actually want to be there. These are very simple, but I want to make sure you understand them. So here's the first condition: maintain for the entire time of the trip promotion. So if you're in the business right now on April 1st, from April through December, but if you're joining later from that month through December, an active status and generate monthly personal orders with a monthly average of 100 QV or more per month. And that's for every month of the promotion, whether you're in at the very beginning or whether you actually are joining Alpha at a later time and you're actually shooting for this trip, it doesn't matter. But for those months that you're in the company during a trip promotion, an average of 100 QV for a personal order. Now, I want to stress, that's a personal order, that 100 QV. So that has nothing to do with customer volume that can count to keep you active or anything like that. That's just a 100-point personal order, and we're looking for an average. So to show you what that looks like graphically, I want to show you this because I want to show you that it doesn't mean that every single month you have a 100 point order, because if you have a brand new person get started and the first month they do a 50-point order, they're out. It doesn't work like that. It means that by the time we get through all the months, we will add up all of the personal orders. We will divide by the amount of months that you've been in, and the average has to be 100 points or more. So in this example, we show that maybe a person who's just getting started does 50-point personal order for the first couple months, and 75, and 150, et cetera. So it's fluctuating all over the place. But at the end of the year, we say, okay, great. You add it all up to 990 points, divided by 9 months in this case, that's 110. You're good. So I want to make sure you guys understand that it's just an average, but an average of a 100-point order. And again, this is a personal order, so it can be an auto ship or a special personal order that you're making, but it will not include the customer volume that can be used to keep you active. This is a straight personal order from you. So that's simple enough. And we're going to move on to the next qualification, the next thing you need to do in terms of your personal requirements. The second one is during the months of November and December, you have to have reached or maintained at least the Sapphire paid rank level for November and December. So again, if I were you, I'd start focusing on getting there now. If you're not a Sapphire, if you are a Sapphire already, just keep maintaining and actually keep getting promoted and go way beyond the Sapphire level. But if you're not there, just keep in mind that in November and December, you're going to have to be at the paid rank of Sapphire or above for November and December of 2018. This is a way for us to make sure that we're having people who are focused on increasing their rank, and that people who go with us are starting to not only become leaders in the company and hit leadership levels, but helping other people do the same, because again, that's going to be what's going to cause the growth in your business, and you're going to see that this promotion is all about growth. So again, Sapphire, for those of you who are maybe watching this recorded video and you just got started and you're not quite clear what Sapphire is, here's the breakdown. Personal qualifying volume of 100 points in a month. Group qualifying volume of 2,000 points, and the maximum amount of points of that 2,000 that can come from any one leg is 50%. So in other words, you can't have more than 1,000 points being counted from any leg. So if you were just building this on a theoretical basis, you just had 3 organizations, it could look something like this: 100 points that for your personal order that you have in November and December, and then also in November and December, you've got 700 points coming from one leg from team 1, 700 points coming from team 2, 600 points coming from team 3. Add that all up, you've got your 2,000 points, you got your 100-point personal order, and no more than 50%, no more than 1,000 points, if you will, 50% is being counted from any given organization. So you're good to go, and you're qualified as a Sapphire. And this is not difficult. This is something that some people have been able to do very, very quickly in Alpha. But again, we wanted to set it up so that even if you're not in the system April 1st, you might join much later into the year, you could still step into Alpha, get excited about the opportunity to get an all-expense paid trip to Australia, and you could go out and you could actually qualify this position if you just put some effort towards it. So that's what we wanted to do. So those are the 2 qualifications, guys. Average order of 100 points throughout the time that you're in for the promotion, and hit Sapphire in November and December. Now, let's get to it and get to the actual qualifications of how we're actually going to rank this and help you achieve this. And it is all about growth. This is different for those of you that are actually watching this live right now, not the people who are recording, but for those of you that have qualified for other trips, this is a different type of qualification, and this is the type of qualification that we're going to have going forward, because this is more in line with what's being done in corporate and what's being done across the industry, which is really helping people to focus their energies, their efforts, and their goals on growing their business. So let's say what it is, and then we're going to unpack it for you. So if you want to go to Australia and you're okay with just going by yourself, then a qualification for one trip is increase your total group qualifying volume by a minimum of 20,000 cumulative GQV over your baseline volume. What is baseline? We're going to tell you in a second. With no more than 7,000 points of growth counting from any given leg. So again, just like we showed you guys for qualifying for Sapphire, there's a maximum that you can count from any leg. With this 20,000, you can't count any more than 7,000 points of growth from any given leg. So we're going to tell you what baseline is. We're going to explain this to you here in just a second. Now, if you want to bring a guest, so now it's not just you, it's you and a guest. So an all-expense paid trip for 2. Increase your total GQV by a minimum of 35,000 cumulative points over your baseline, with no more than 12,500 points of growth counting from any given leg. So again, we're gonna have a flyer up for you guys that you'll see. It's in the back office. You'll be able to read this as many times as you want to, but I want to give you guys a concept of what this is. Understand, one trip is 20,000. 2 trips, we didn't even double it. We said, hey, at the chairman's insistence, we actually said, hey, for people who are actually shooting for 2 trips, give them some sort of volume break. So we actually said, okay, we're not going to double the number. We're going to make it 35,000. So we gave you a break there if you wanted to be able to bring a guest with you. But we had to actually focus it on a baseline to talk about growth. So let's talk about how we did this, okay? And make sure you guys can follow this. What is baseline? Well, here's how it works. The incentive qualification for those of you that are currently in the system right now is going to run a full 9 months from April 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. And the goal was to grow. That was the goal. That was the parameters that were provided for us, that we wanted to reward people who were growing their business, because that meant they were doing the things necessary to move Alphé forward, but also move themselves forward and create better income earning stories for themselves. But also, if they're growing their business, it means they're putting more and more of Alphé's incredible products into the marketplace. So we wanted to reward those people who were driving that kind of volume. So we said growth of 20,000 for one trip, 35,000 if you wanted to bring a guest, so for 2 trips. So we had to figure out growth as compared to what. That's where this whole concept of a baseline came from. So what we decided was, since we're actually going to do this trip, you're going to have a qualification of 9 months, the most fair thing to compare it to is, what did your business do for the prior 9 months, just prior to us starting this qualification? That would make sense, right? So if we're starting on April 1st and going to the end of the year, we said, let's have the computer do a 9-month look back, which would be July 1st of 2017 through March 31st, right? So the day before April, right? March 31st of 2018, 9 full months of actual your business, of actual growth, and that would become your baseline. So we would have the computer look back, add up all that volume, boom, we've got your baseline number. Now we can actually figure out from there, for 20,000 points of growth, it gives you a new number. For 35,000 points of growth, it gives you a new number, and you would know what you were shooting for, what you were targeting. So that's what baseline volume is. It's a 9-month look back, starting at July 1st through March 31st, and it's looking at that baseline, and then it's actually saying, we're going to run a comparison, and we're going to actually figure out your growth over the next 9 months. So guys, right now in your back office, please don't go there. Please continue watching this webinar, but as soon as it's done, you can go log into your back office, and you can see right now in your back office, underneath your incentive tab, you'll see a 2019 trip incentive, and you're going to have a baseline volume. It'll give you a total baseline volume, which will be all your volume down to the dollar, added up from July 1st through March 31st. And then it's going to give you your goal for one trip, which is just your volume plus 20, and then your goal for 2 trips to invite a guest, which is your volume plus 35. So very simple, but it's going to show you where you are, so you can start figuring out exactly what you need to do going from April 1st through December 31st of 2018, guys. I tell you what, you think about this, this is a very, very fair thing. It's a very simple thing. I actually think it's easy if it was up to me, and thankfully for you, it's not up to me. It would actually be more difficult to attend this trip, but we wanted to make sure that, hey, we took a lot of people with us to Australia because we knew the value we were going to get out of that. You know, people being over there and having the time to learn and fellowship with a lot of the leaders from around the world. But also, we wanted to make sure the people that we took were people who were actually getting it done, who were actually building their business, who were putting themselves in place to not only earn money, but to help their team earn money as well. And this was the fairest and simplest thing that we could come up with, that we thought was amazing. So again, that's how baseline works, and you'll be able to see your baseline in your own back office. It is actually live now. So as soon as you finish this webinar, you can actually go back there and see what your baseline is and start thinking about what you need to do and what your targets are going forward. Now, I want to show you something, because this is even more interesting. For an existing distributor, your baseline doing that 9-month look back, right, would actually have a number attached to it, because you've been in the business for 9 months and there's been some production. But for anyone who is brand new, so if you got started at April 1st or later, right, so anybody who was in a system as of the end of March, they have a baseline. But anyone who just got started April 1st or later, guess what your 9-month look back is? 0. So your baseline volume is 0. So the only thing you have to do to go to Australia is produce the 20,000 in volume. That's it. Produce the 20,000 in volume throughout the rest of the year. No more than 7,000 points can count from any given leg, right? Or produce the 35,000 points in volume with no more than 12.5 counting from any given leg, and you're taking someone with you. You're taking a guest. All expense paid trip for 2 or 1 to Australia, because your baseline is 0. Congratulations to you. You can get right into the company, get focused right from day one, working with your team to figure out how to do this and go out and hit these metrics. We wanted to keep it simple for you, so that no matter when you came in during the year, you would have a real serious shot of being able to go to Australia if it was something that you wanted to do. Dream trip right off the back, welcome to Alpha. That's how we set it up for you. So it's pretty cool. So again, if you've been in before April 1st, you got a baseline. If you came in April 1st or later, your baseline is 0. So you're just producing 20,000 and 35,000, and you guys are going to Australia with us. So that's pretty incredible that we were able to put that together for you. Now, I wanted to show you what this looks like graphically, because I know some people, they can read it all they want, but it just doesn't make sense to them. But again, let's just say that you're a current distributor and your baseline volume was 50,000. In this example, I just used, to keep it simple, you had 20,000 in team 1, 20,000 team 2, 10,000 team 3, so you had that 50,000 baseline. Well, by the end of December 31st, if you wanted to produce it perfect world, you'd have 27,000 produced by your team 1, 27,000 produced by team 2, and 16,000. So again, you hit all your baseline volume plus 7, plus 7, plus 6, right? So that's plus the 20,000. Guess what? That's 75,000 now. You're actually over it. You're actually now in there for a trip. So that's incredible. Actually, that should be 70,000. I apologize, but that's 70,000. You're qualified for one trip to be able to go to Australia. Now, that's if you had a baseline. Again, if you didn't have a baseline, well, guess what? 0, 0, 0 is your baseline. So all you have to do is produce 7, 7, and 6 by the end of the year. That's your 20,000 GQV. You got a trip qualified for 1. You guys can figure it out again. If you wanted to go for 2, we're just going to be dealing with 35,000 instead of 20,000. But again, I want you to see graphically what is possible for you by going out, just building a small organization, but really working with them to produce. Now, here's the other thing I want you to understand, because I know some people, they might not get this right away. They might not get just how easy and simple we've really made this. We're talking about a cumulative volume. All these points we're talking about are cumulative. This doesn't mean in 1 month you got to produce 7,000 in growth, 7,000 in growth, 6,000 in growth. This means throughout the entire lifetime of this promotion, right? So if you're in the business right now in April, you've got 9 months to accumulate in one team 7,000 or more in growth, and another team 7,000 or more in growth, and in another team 6,000 or more in growth, and that would give you your 20,000 points in volume to be able to go on a trip. So I just used easy numbers, that we could add up here, but it would be the average of 800, 800, and 700 on team 1, team 2, and team 3, and doing that each month for 9 months. Now, again, if you got started later, then these numbers would actually average a little bit bigger for you to be able to go. But think about this for a second. Here's what we really expect. The numbers are always smaller in the beginning when you're getting it started, right? And then they would get bigger. They would actually get bigger. So maybe it would start at 500, 500, and 400 or something like that, and then it would start growing. But we're going to give you all year to get this volume done. Again, I'm going to say it again. We talked about this behind the scenes. Now we're going to actually say it to you in front of the scenes. The only people who aren't going to Australia are going to be the people who don't want to go. Because if you actually want to go, and I can't imagine why you would not want to go on this type of excursion with us, right? This is about as easy as we can make it, especially when you consider the activities that you're receiving this volume for, not just customer volume, but also think about it. If you were able to go out, I mean, 700 points is one new person who's joining your team and at the executive level. So again, we're not talking about a massive amount of ridiculous production happening every month. We're just talking about some consistent production happening month after month after month, building up momentum in your business. You guys are going to Australia with this, and you're going to be recognized as a leader when we get there. So we expect every single person, seriously, who really wants to be there, and we can't wait to celebrate with you. Not to mention, we can't wait to do all the things with you throughout the year that's going to make this a reality, not just something that you're watching on a screen or something on paper. Now, the other thing is we wanted to give you the opportunity. We always want to produce leadership opportunities for people to be rewarded extra points. How else can you generate points outside of just that? What's your bonus? What's the X factor? So we came up with the Ruby or above bonus point system. And here's how it works. Distributors who's personally sponsored distributors. So your PSDs reach for the first time the paid rank of Ruby and above during the promotional period. So for the first time they're hitting Ruby, okay? Or maybe they've been Ruby before, but for the first time, they're going out and they're hitting Emerald. Or maybe they've been Emerald and the first time they're hitting Diamond. You guys get it. But for the first time, they're hitting Ruby or above for the very first time. We're going to give you, when you help them hit that position for the very first time, we'll give you 1,000 points, PQV points, for each month of qualification during the promotion period that they do it. So in other words, I want to show you guys how this works. Let's say this is your team, and this person they've never been Ruby before. Let's say the highest they've ever been is Sapphire, but then during September, right? In September, they hit Ruby. Congratulations, they've never hit that position before, so they hit Ruby. And during October, they maintain Ruby. And during November, they maintain Ruby. And maybe during December, not only do they maintain Ruby, maybe they go up to Emerald. That's awesome. The point is, it's not just that first time that they hit it, it's if they are able to hit and maintain it, we're going to give you 1,000 points for every single month that they're doing it. So in this particular case, she was able to hit Ruby and keep it going for 4 months. We're going to give you 4,000 bonus points. You guys understand that? Now, if a person's been Ruby before, again, I'll say it, then if they hit Emerald, right, then we'll give you 1,000 points for that. So think about it for a second, guys. This gives you the ability to work with your teams. These people are saying, hey, they're trying to get to Australia as well. So they're building and they're working with people who want to get to Australia as well. So you should have brand new people, unless every single person you've ever recruited has already been Ruby or above, right? You should have brand new people hitting these positions if you're building your business right, which means you're getting more and more bonus points. And what we're going to be able to do is take those bonus points. You'll be able to count up to 7,000 of these bonus points, right, towards one trip. So 7,000 points that you can put anywhere that you need them in terms of the calculation going to get you over the hump for the trip, for one trip, or up to 12,500 of these points for 2 trips. Now, the one thing I do want to stress to you guys who really understand the compensation plan and you really understand the commission structure, these bonus points that we are providing you are just for qualification for the trips. They're not going to affect your personal rank, nor are they commissionable. So just keep that in mind. So if you're getting 4,000 bonus points or 10,000 bonus points or 20,000 bonus points or whatever, it's just helping you go to Australia. It's not going to all of a sudden rank you up to Keymaster or rank you up to 1-star Keymaster, nor is it going to be something where you're going to actually get paid more money off of it. But I will say this, if you're producing the volume on your team to get people up to these ranks, if they're hitting Ruby, if they're hitting Emerald, if they're hitting Diamond and Keymaster for the first time, well, guess what? That's producing a lot more volume on your team that is commissionable that you're going to get paid off of, and it's also going to boost your rank. So you've got every incentive now, not just for the Australia purpose, but every incentive to help every single person in your team who's serious go out there and really pursue their dream to be able to take this trip. And the rewards for you are going to be absolutely incredible. So we wanted to show you that too as method 2, as a leadership way for people to generate points, additional points above and beyond what they're doing with just building their teams. So guys, as a quick recap, the requirements for personal, average order of 100 points or more. We talked about that. It's an average. Also, you got to hit Sapphire or above November and December of 2018. You got to do both of these things just to meet the minimum requirements to be able to go on the trip. And then the qualifications, 20,000 in volume. If you want to actually go with one person, 20,000 in volume in growth over your baseline, or 35,000 in volume in growth over your baseline for 1 trip or 2 trips. And again, we've got that Ruby and above bonus points that's almost going to be the catch-all. So again, no matter what, if you're helping people in your team advance, you've got an extra way to pull in points to make sure that not only are you there, but in all reality, if you're doing this, if you're actually really going out and helping people hit Ruby or above, you should be one of those people who are taking a guest for free also to Australia with us, so you can enjoy that amazing experience with someone who you care about. So this is going to be awesome. We are super, super excited about it. Again, we are going to have a training this Thursday to really teach, for those of you watching this live, this Thursday, to really, really teach you how to actually really go after this and how you should use this promotion to build your business throughout the rest of 2018. But we're fired up about it because we know what this is going to mean for the earnings, also for the focus and the team building efforts of the leaders here in North America that are actually trying to take their business to the next level, guys. So with that said, I'm super excited about it. If you have any questions, you can actually send them to customer service, and they'll actually get them over to me, and we'll include the Q&A part, or we'll include the answers to your questions in that training that's going to happen Thursday for those of you that are on this live right now. And if you're watching this via recording, guys, listen, I don't care if it's May now or June or July or August that you're seeing this for the first time, get back to the person who actually got you into the business, and tell them I want to go to Australia, and they're going to show you. Remember, your baseline is 0, so they're going to show you how to figure it out, how to structure your business, and how to make sure that you're in Australia with us. Again, I said it at the top, and I'll say it here at the end. If you join Alpha with us, and if you pursue Alpha with us, not only will you be able to make some serious money, not only will you be able to help positively impact the well-being of the people that you care about by offering the incredible Alpha products, but you're also, as an ancillary benefit, you're going to be able to travel the world to dream destinations that other people talk about, other people dream about, but they never actually get to do. You're going to be able to do that here with us in Alpha. This is just the beginning. We already know about some of the other future destinations that are being planned. I'm super excited, and you're going to be super excited too. In fact, we'll probably tell you about a couple things when you're with us in Australia that are going to blow your mind, guys. So we hope that you can be there. We hope that you can be one of the attendees and be one of the people recognized as one of the premier leaders in North America, not just in front of your fellow North American Alpha family members, but the Alpha top leadership from around the world, because that's who's going to be in Australia, and we want you to be a part of it. So with that said, thanks so much, guys. Always appreciate your time. Make sure that everybody in your team knows this. This has been recorded. We're going to get this out to anybody who wasn't able to be here live, and make sure you are on this webinar here on Thursday so that you can learn how to maximize this and make sure that you're in Australia, not just by yourself, but with 5 of your team members, 10 of your team members, 20 of your team members, revolutionizing your Alpha business throughout 2018, and then deep into the future. Thanks so much, guys. God bless you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.